Hello, hello.
Sorry, folks, I hit the wrong meeting with all of these back-to-back on Monday mornings.
That happens.
Indeed, it does. All right, should we go ahead and get started? Okay, welcome back. Happy Monday again for those that are on the stage call. We'll go ahead and go through the agenda. This won't take the full time unless there's hidden announcements that I'm not seeing yet. So everybody sees Philippe's out for a couple of weeks. Todd's going to be out later this week. The big three things that I wanted to go over, there's a few things I wanted to go over. One was make sure everybody knew where we were on the team split process, and that's probably going to take us take up the most conversation. So there is an MR up for Team YAML to be updated. So I was waiting to merge it a little bit, but I think that's going to get merged in today, unless somebody's going to look at me and tell me I'm wrong. And so that's there won't be any surprises along those lines. It's going to formalize conversations we've already had and team split that we've already mentioned with everyone here. After that, what is going to happen is the other support systems that we use will also be updated. Bamboo HR, Expensify, and every last one of those will follow after Team YAML is done. And we're going to execute those as fast as we can. And going ahead to set expectations for those that are going to be moving over to work on dynamic analysis. One-on-ones next week will become one-on-one-on-ones. As a transition period, and then I will fade into the background from a one-on-one cadence perspective. And at least where we left conversation last week, this meeting would not be split just yet. We would continue as a combined group. But we're reserving the right to split it out, to break it out according to the two groups at a later date. Any questions on that and where we are at the moment from a team split? Okay, moving on. Please don't hesitate to bring these up in one-on-ones, whether formal one-on-ones or just in Slack or whatever channel that you feel most comfortable bringing it up. So part of moving on to planning. So you may have noticed that there were a lot of issues moved out of 12.2 last week. That was intentional. The 12.2. The amount of items in 12.2 was not realistic. It was not realistic by a long shot. And the reasons for that there was nothing deliberate along those lines. What it really highlighted to me were a large number of effectively hidden queues that are inputs to work in a given iteration, whether they be documentation updates or they're initiatives coming from UX or they're initiatives driven from PM or they are backstage improvements and tech debt payoffs that are coming out of engineering. So the resulting aspect of that is that we had too many items coming into 12.2 without any one gatekeeper or series of gatekeepers to protect us from that. And so now that we see it, we're going to try to fix it. I don't know what it is, but the result of it was that the number of things, including some items that people were assigned to at 12.2, got moved to 12.3 or 12.4 and so forth. So we'll be reconciling that this week. It should not change priorities. It should not change what you're currently working on, but in case you noticed drift, that was the reason behind it. Any questions?
So just a quick follow-up on it. You say that we've got visibility to it now. Does that mean that this shouldn't happen again? And basically, I want to make sure that we're we want to keep that visibility on all the things that we should be working on, right? So
Yep.
invisible cues are always the death of productivity. So making sure that those things stay, at the forefront is good.
I don't know that we have the tooling yet to prohibit it, but we have visibility to it. We know it can happen and know we need to pay attention to it on a daily basis so that when we see it occurring, we can correct it immediately as opposed to it languishing for a couple of weeks, which is what happened here. So we can at least mitigate the impact while also starting to identify we know where they come from. We haven't yet identified root cause, and maybe it is a process failure, maybe it is a tooling failure. But at least we can start those conversations and know we need to pay attention to it, know that it can occur. So,
okay, thank you.
Yep. All right. Preview of coming attractions. So we've had conversations about what our 12.3 priorities will be out of static and dynamic analysis. Those are listed here within the agenda. So these are the top items that are coming into that'll be coming in the next release. I wanted to go ahead and get people's eyes upon them because there's, while some of which have been groomed, not all have. And so we want to make sure that we've got people paying attention to these with priority. I'm going to be flagging specific individuals to groom these, or to be assigned to groom these if they haven't been already. But I wanted to at least let everybody know what the priorities are, or top priorities for the next iteration are. I don't think these are surprises, but I wanted to go ahead and call them out. They're big initiatives. And along those lines, I mentioned this in the stage call, but it's more apt. It is directly relevant here. I'm looking for reference issues. So if you've gone through and you worked an item that you know fits a specific size, please link. Please contribute to the reference issue. The reference issue. So that we can have this and we can further refine grooming sizing as a part of grooming. Any questions on this?
So I'll just throw out a kind of a softball question. Does everybody get why we want and need reference issues? What the whole thought process behind it is. Okay. Got a thumbs up from Lucas. That's good enough.
All right. Let me ask for some direct feedback, whether it is on this call or it is in a one-on-one cadence. This is the second meeting in a row that I have chaired where I am the only one talking. Is it body language on my part, or is it just too early in the day for most people?
Well, it's definitely 7 a.m. on the West Coast here.
It's Monday for everyone. So,
right. I would say, Thomas, it's because you're doing a stand-up job, but that's just my opinion. I don't know what everyone else has to say.
Is that a pun on us having a daily stand-up, or that I am working from a standing desk?
No, it's there's no pun.
Okay. All right, I'm just doing all the talking, and this feels like it's coming top down, and it's not intended to be that way. So I was looking for feedback. Please, if you've got feedback and you want to share privately, if you don't know this about me already, I'm motivated by improvement. So if it's something about my body language or the way that I'm phrasing, I would appreciate that feedback. All right, I've got one more item on the agenda. It's a reminder: backlog grooming. Let's continue to help ourselves and pay it forward on as far as sizing goes, and making sure that we're not overbooked in future iterations. There are links for 12.3 and 12.4 above to do grooming. If you have any questions on how to do it or what the expectations are, we can talk about those offline, either asynchronously over Slack or in a one-on-one conversation. And with that, I'll throw out what I did for the last one. Any questions, comments, criticisms, concerns, or complaints?
Just a quick comment. I'll probably update the links at the top. We are now breaking up the SAST and DAST issue boards. as part of all the labels going through. So those issue boards should now be separated. So the links up at the top, the 12.2, 12.2 dev, so on and so forth, will be updated with the respective filters.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, then we'll go ahead and call it at this. Thank you, everybody. May the force be with you always. Let's we'll go about our business. So happy Monday once again, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.